not honor women, as he personally proved in his next breath that day when he attacked a woman, Frederica Wilson, and as he proves every day now by refusing to apologize to her. And you would like to give John Kelly the benefit of the doubt that his dehumanizing of Frederica Wilson and his refusal to apologize for his lies about her have nothing to do with race. You would like to give him that benefit of the doubt. And then, in the same interview this week where he refuses to apologize to the black congresswoman he lied about, he says this about America's war over slavery.
It's inconceivable to me that you would take what we think now and apply it back then. I would tell you that Robert E. Lee was an honorable man. He was a man that gave up his country to fight for his state, which in 150 years ago was more important than country. It was always loyalty to state first back in those days.
John Kelly, the amateur historian, is full of poisonous falsehoods about American history that he shares with the most ignorant president in history. John Kelly doesn't want to apply the standards of today to Robert E. Lee. Okay, let's not. How about the standards of Robert E. Lee's sister, who sided with the North in the Civil War and whose son joined the Union Army? How about the standards of Robert E. Lee's nephew, who joined the Union Army? How about the standards of the 40% of Virginia's officers who remained in the service of the Union Army? John Kelly dishonors all of them who got it right, morally right, in order to declare the most murderous traitor in American history to be an honorable man. Robert E. Lee owned slaves, beat slaves, and sold individual members of slave families to different buyers. Robert E. Lee did every vile thing that the worst slave owners did at that time when honorable and decent people knew that it was evil. No one in American history has been more guilty of treason than Robert E. Lee. In an 1865 editorial, the New York Times said he has levied war against the United States more strenuously than any other man in the land, and thereby has been specially guilty of the crime of treason as defined in the Constitution of the United States. And 3 days later, Robert E. Lee was indicted for treason. But generals, as we see, are especially generous to generals. And General Ulysses S. Grant interceded with President Andrew Johnson to get the treason case against Robert E. Lee dropped. And now retired General John Kelly tries to tell us that Robert E. Lee was an honorable man. Robert E. Lee is responsible for the deaths of more American soldiers than all of the enemies the United States has ever faced in war combined, including Hitler. Robert E. Lee killed more American soldiers than Hitler did. And now both Robert E. Lee and Hitler are champions to the white supremacists and anti-Semites who marched in Charlottesville chanting, "Jews will not replace us," and were declared publicly by John Kelly's boss to include some good people.